Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to my podcast. My name is Lynette. Today we're going to talk about you were enough, you are enough. Sometimes when we're with certain people, they make you feel like they're bored or they're not enjoying your company, and then you try even harder to entertain them. But the good news is, and the reality is, it is not our job to entertain anybody. If you turn the tables a little bit and think about it, they aren't enough for you because they don't get you. They don't get your sense of humor. They're missing out on enjoying who you are. So many times people spin their wheels trying to live up to someone else's standard. I know of a man that was very, very wealthy because he kept trying harder and harder to live up to what or who his father wanted him to be. But the point being, he didn't have to live up to his father's standards so long as he was enough for himself. So long as he lived up to his own standards. Again, it goes back to loving yourself, being your own best friend, being who you were meant to be. A big mistake that we all have made at some point or another, because when somebody rejects us, it's not a good feeling. But you got to know that it's because they aren't enough for you. And this applies whether it be a friendship, a romantic relationship. It's like sometimes we try so hard to be that person for somebody else, especially when they're with us and they seem bored or distracted. But if they can't see the value in who you are, and they are so fortunate to be with you, then move on to somebody who does appreciate you, who enjoys your company, who can really recognize your attributes. And the point is, when you're enough for yourself, you are always enough to know that you are accepted and perfect just the way you are. And so if somebody doesn't get it, if they seem bored or distracted or doesn't quite get you, again, turn the tables. All it means is they are not enough for you. They don't get you. They're the ones with the block, not you. I know myself, for example, I will be with certain people and I feel like the energy isn't flowing, that it's too forced to have a good time. The conversation is mistaken or misunderstood. And you walk away and you can't really say you had a good time. You can't say you had a bad time. It was what it was. But then on the other hand, you'll get on the phone or you'll be with somebody who has been supportive of you, knows you, appreciates you. And you laugh and you genuinely smile and they get what you're telling them and you get what they're telling you. Those are the kind of people that we want in our lives. And in this world, we are thrown into situations with all types of people. But in our personal lives, the people that we allow in our space, that we allow to be a part of us, that we take what they have to say, we value their opinions. Those are the ones who get you, who understand you. What a waste of energy and what a waste of time to be with someone that you always felt like you had to be on. It would take so much energy to feel like you had to entertain someone. You owe it to them to make them happy, to make them laugh. The truth is, they need to make you laugh. They need to make you happy. And I think if we're lucky enough to find people like that in our lives, then we're blessed, and those are the people you want to hang on to. And those are the people that aren't going to get offended if you have a bad day, that they understand that we all have bad days. We're all human beings. But the people that get you, they don't take so much effort. You can enjoy life. You can enjoy the time being with them. It just flows. It's so wonderful to be with someone whose sense of humor you get when you laugh at the same things. So if you're with someone right now and you're feeling like they don't get you, that you're having to be something other than what you are, but they are truly the ones that are missing out. Because when you totally understand someone and you totally get their sense of humor and you totally get their heart, basically, then you really know the essence of who that person is. And someone who doesn't take the time to find that out about you, they could possibly have some sort of block in their own life, some sort of block that's not allowing them to do that. Or some sort of block where they're only looking at themselves because their energy is blocked and all they can see is how things affect them. And that's okay. It's okay if people are in that space at this time. It's okay if that's their journey. But as for you, me, those of us that want to walk in peace and those of us that want to be our true selves, we need to find friends, significant others, that it doesn't take so much effort. And if you're with someone right now that's taking that energy, it doesn't mean it will be that way forever. That's the exciting thing about life, is that how we are right now is always subject to change. If you look back and how you were last year or the year before, or think about mistakes you've made, that's part of life. That's part of living. So if somebody's not on the same journey as you or the same path at this time, that's okay. Remember, we talked about in the last episode that if somebody wants to leave or walk out of your life, then that's part of their journey. We don't want to interrupt their journey by stopping them. And then if somebody does step out of your life, it may be temporary, but regardless, it leaves space for someone new or for something new to come along. When you're with someone that doesn't get you, or better yet, when you're with someone that does get you, the conversation just flows. Because no matter who you're with at any time of the day, regardless of what relationship you have with them, whether it be boss, coworker, friend, significant other, you are giving them a gift, and that is a gift of you. And you need to walk away with this knowing that you are a gift. And if some people don't get it, it takes a lot of energy to try to make them get it. And the truth being, you can't make someone get you. You can't make someone appreciate you. But the good news is you shouldn't want to do that. You got to know that you're enough just the way you are. And what you bring to the table, what you bring to a party, what you bring to a relationship is a gift. It's valuable. You're valuable. You're valuable just the way you are. It just simply means that they're on a different path or they're consumed with something going on with them. But again, I'm going to say, it is not our job to have to entertain someone or have to make them laugh. It should be a two-way street. And when you pick the people in your life to complete this journey in life, living in the present moment, living in happiness, living in peace, it also has to do with the people that you allow in your life. And we're thrown into situations, as I mentioned earlier, that I know we can't control that, but that's okay. We just still, even in that case, just be you. And if they don't get it, it's okay. But at least you know you're being your true self. You're being true to you. And you know that what you say, what you do brings value, brings a gift to the situation. Again, that gift is you. When you follow all these steps and when you end up walking in the present moment, being present, being a good listener, when you know you've done all the steps and you're living it, you have a confidence about you that what you say, what you do is always right. It's who you are. And it's not your job to figure out if they get it or how they took it. You just simply put it out there and know that you did the best you can do. And just know without any doubt that you're perfect just the way you are. Remember, we're not always going to be in the same place in life as everybody else. But also remember and hold in your heart that you're taking the steps necessary to make your life the best it can be. And that's all you need to know. That's all you need to remember. You can't help where somebody else is. I go through this all the time. I'm around people and I'm trying to be positive about situations. And it's almost like some people go out of their way to make a situation seem difficult. I get the feeling that they want me to pull them up. Well, it's not my job, and I decided I'm not going to do that anymore. I used to try to do that. I used to try to lift people up that were down or negative. But they have a choice. We all have a choice. We can be negative or positive. And if somebody chooses to be negative, it is not your job to spin their situation around and make it a positive one. If somebody is willing to try to be positive and talk with you about it, then by all means, I'm there to listen. I'm there to be a friend. But if they're going to pick something apart or be negative, sometimes I'll even be excited about something, but they find the negative in it. Well, again, it's not our job to make somebody understand us, to make somebody get us, because they aren't walking on the same path as us. Doesn't mean you can't be friends. It doesn't mean you have to stay away from those people. It just means that you need to understand this. We all need to get this because it is a big burden to try to pull people along with you if they're not trying or if they don't want to be pulled along. Again, we're not always going to be on the same journey, on the same path at the same time with everybody else, and that's okay. But it's not your job to bring them up to speed to where you're at because you've taken the steps, you've done the work. And until they're willing to do the work, you're not going to be on the same path. You can try, you can pull them to a certain extent, but it is exhausting. And I think at some point you will realize that and let people pull themselves up. And that doesn't mean don't be a friend, don't be a confidant if that's what someone needs. But if they're doing it to drain you of your energy, then no, none of us need to be drained of our energy because it's taken energy to get where you are on this journey, on this path in life. It takes work to get positive. It takes work to live in the present moment. It takes work to be a good listener. And if somebody doesn't want to do that work, but they want to pull you down to their level, expecting you to use your energy to lift them, that is just too exhausting. I think we can share with people what we've learned, how far we've come, and hopefully that they will get it and want to walk the same path. But if they don't, just shake it off and be who you are. I'm going to say this one more time because I want you to get this. It's not our job to make everybody that we're around be positive, be happy. We can live by example, which is awesome, But unless somebody's willing to do the work, it's not your job to pull them along. With that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you next week. Bye-bye.